Well, hello and welcome everyone to the final day of week 2 of Littlewargame's Pro League 6. Today will be the final match of both Group A and Group B, which are going to have major implications to the team standings here and the mentality of the teams going into the final week of this competition. As these are two important games for both, or well, for all of these teams, I should say. Let's see which matchups are up for today. In the final match of Group A, it is going to be Ninja versus J Awesome. Ninja trying to extend the lead of the Fellowship, where J Awesome, for Team Holy, wants to get that victory in order to clear themselves from Team Pro League and give themselves another opportunity to fight for at least second place with Team Mderg. And after that matchup, it is going to be Bly for Egg versus JP11. Bly, taking the spot for Team Mderg, wants to get the clean sweep to get themselves into some kind of reaching position to the Fellowship, as they are pretty clear in second place, where JP11 wants to get themselves the clean sweep in order to get ahead of Team Holy, just in case the Fellowship wins the series and leaves Team Holy at 8 or 9 points. And he wants the clean sweep in order to be able to take second place from Team Holy, as long as Team Holy does not win the series. But before we go ahead and make any kind of assumptions and conclusions, as it's time to get into game number 1. Game 1 of these two gentlemen is going to be played on Xenos. So, without any further ado, with everyone and also the tournament host B. Sherm here spectating as well, wishing each other good luck, have fun. It's time to introduce our players. On the bottom left hand side, spawning with the red Santa hat pieces for Team Pro League. It is not Team Pro League, for Team The Fellowship, it doofus. It is Ninja. Sometimes, man, it's not as easy as it looks, okay? On the other side of the map, in the top right hand side, with the normal blue pieces, it is J Awesome. Not even going to mention the team name, I'll just mess it up again. Ninja is going for a 10 opening, while J Awesome over here is going for Rex. Now, I myself am far from a professional when it comes to a Littlewargame. However, as far as we have mainly seen so far, the 10 openings seem to be a little stronger, especially because they can try and contain the opponent relatively easily. And if you look at the map layout of Xenos over here, you can also see that there are multiple ways to engage expansions here. So, just to keep that in mind, well, maybe the third, you know, is kind of closed, but as soon as an expansion has multiple pathways to try and bother your opponent, then it seems like a beast opening would, generally speaking, be a better way to handle things, to try and pressure your opponent, to try and keep the map pressure for yourself, to keep the control instead of giving it away like this. Having that said, J Awesome is going for an archer opening, so it looks like he wants to go for an early expansion, as archers are cheaper than raiders, but they're also easier to die. First wolf of Ninja is about to enter the natural of J Awesome, and we'll soon see that there is indeed an archer opening. And J Awesome, as you can see, is already saving up for a natural base. Having that said though, as he already also saw the worker walk out, the natural base of Ninja is actually faster. So I assume that this is some kind of way to just try and not fall too behind of our beast player, because obviously wolves are a little bit cheaper than the Rex units. Having that said though, they also produce faster, so I'm not entirely sure how that adds up in the grand scheme of things. Ninja though is a little bit supply blocked, the house is a little bit late, so he has to cut some production, is getting himself a second wolf den, so he is going to add some production. Is going to try and take down this worker, and this worker looks like it is just going to go down. Might actually have wanted to... Oh, okay. Well, very nice moves, J Awesome. Actually keeping the worker alive, taking down one of the wolves. It's very well done by our player in the blue here. Ninja is not yet done, but it looks like 3 wolves are not going to be able to take down these 3 archers, especially if some workers enter the fray as well. Maybe he just wants to move this worker back to the main base and maybe exchange it for a worker with a little bit more health, because it is in a vulnerable position here. But nonetheless, still very well defended. Ninja in the meantime getting himself a 3rd den. I assume that a snake charmer is going to be constructed relatively soon, as J Awesome is getting himself a workshop up and is going to make a transition into gyrocopters. Gyrocrafts? I think it's gyrocrafts. I called them gyrocopters in the beginning of the Pro League, but I think I was wrong. So the transition into gyrocrafts is going to be an interesting one. Gyrocrafts are quite expensive. They can definitely be good, as we see that there is no snake charmer being produced from Ninja yet. There are no watchtowers made. There are no transitions going into dragons either, and there is no advanced workshop to go for ballistas. So as long as the mill here is going to be unscouted and unforeseen, then it might be a decent surprise for J Awesome against Ninja here. But having that said, it looks like the wolves are going to try and engage here. Not entirely sure if this is the best position for a player in the red to go in. These workers deal a lot of damage. These archers are just barely not going to be able to take down the second wolf too, so this is going to be an interesting situation. For some reason this archer is out there, which is not the best position for the archer to be. But if we look at the total amount of units, it's 7 archers versus 13 wolves. I assume that the archers themselves might not entirely be capable to deal with these wolves, but with the extra DPS from the workers here, it is going to be more difficult for Ninja to actually break it. In the meantime, the first gyrocraft is almost going to be finished. There we go. And it is indeed a gyrocraft. So the first one has come out. Is he going to do anything with it? The DPS from 1 gyro is not that high, so maybe he wants to go ahead and get himself a second one. The economy, or the bank, I should say, from the income is slowly rising, so he might actually want to do something against it. Definitely wants to go ahead and either construct a house, or no, he's escorting a worker, trying to get himself a 3rd base. Not entirely sure if this is the move that you want to do, because these wolves, there are just so many wolves. And it doesn't feel like it is going to be enough. He definitely at this point, I assume, wants to go ahead and add a watchtower maybe, because this seems like it is a tough position to deal with. This worker is going to go down. The 3rd is going to be denied for now. Gyrocraft is going to the 3rd location of Ninja and sees that he's going to try to take one himself, and I assume that that one is going to be finished, because there's no way that J Awesome here can do anything against it. The total amount of wolves is actually quite large. The gyrocraft not even taking down the worker constructing the base, but this is a very nice surround of the workers here, but is it actually going to be enough? So far, it's... oh, there was some lag, I assume, but we're all good and back to go. For some reason, The worker damage over here that is being dealt is quite nice. 5 workers in total being taken down, but it is not necessarily sad to see, but it is a little bit of a waste that the 2 archers there have not been taken down, so it is some additional DPS, no matter for how long, that J. Awesome can enjoy with those archers. If he moves them to the back of his army, those can stay alive for quite some time. Watchtowers are going to be constructed. The one in the main is going to be finished. The third is also finished, which I assume if the worker pops out is going to finish constructing a watchtower at the third as well. The natural also has a watchtower, so those gyros have nothing to do there. The wolves once again go back to try and deny the third of J. Awesome, but all of the archers are there. And they get some nice free shots off on the wolves, and they focus on the wrong archers here. If he actually moves them in a way where they can take down the archers and now run away, that would be kind of decent, but still a lot of wolves have been taken down. More wolves are continuously going to be produced. The snake charmer has finished. The snakes are on the way and some range DPS will be added. These gyros will have even less to say once those pop out. But it is going to be interesting to see what J. Awesome is going to do here. He is going to get himself some catapults. He is going to get himself a forge, of which I assume he's going for the mech unit attack upgrades, but I don't think he's going to have enough army to try and stay alive for that long, because all of his archers over here are going to be taken down. Workers are going to be taken down as well. The only thing that's going to stay alive is the gyrocraft, because there's nothing that he can do against it. 3 gyros are attacking the third here, but is it going to be of any use of attacking the third instead of trying to defend your own base? It is a little bit late now. Snakes have a free reign on these gyros as they are not being moved, and those snakes are going to take down the gyros with ease. In the meantime, the third base of J. Awesome is under attack and seems like it is not quite yet just going to be taken down, but it will definitely take damage as much as Ninja's base has taken damage. Not the best thing to see. Ninja in the meantime getting himself 2 animal testing labs, going to get the upgrade advantage for himself as well. This is also pretty interesting to see some friendly fire being dealt with the catapults here. And almost once again, all the archers over here being taken down for some reason, once again, not being targeted on the low health archers, so they once again stay alive. Ninja in the meantime, however, trying to get himself a 4th base as J. Awesome is still just trying to secure his 3rd here. Is going to go ahead and try and make a 4th as well, but he is a little bit behind. If you look at the economy, it is slightly even, but I assume that that is going to change relatively shortly. I mean, Ninja is up 6 workers, so not entirely sure where the difference is going to be then. I assume once the 4th base is up and running, that it'll jump up more, but yeah, okay, now we see a little bit of an advantage. I assume some workers were also, of course, producing some of the buildings here, and once again, more tents are being constructed, so that does make sense. My bad. Ninja is going for a 1-on-1 upgrade here, as J. Awesome, kind of surprisingly, is going for an infantry attack upgrade instead of for an armor upgrade for his infantry or a mechanical unit attack upgrade. Snakes over here are going to try and attack and take down some of these gyros. They will run into the main base, will scout that there are animal testing labs, and will be able to deal some small shots if he wanted to, but he just needs to get himself out of there. The amount of gyrocrafts is slowly becoming an amount to kind of be worried about. At least they are going to be able to soon take down watchtowers by themselves, but that is only watchtowers and nothing else in particular. Ninja going for a fortress is going to get himself some dragons soon. In the meantime, is going to continuously construct snakes, as the watchtower over here is still just simply going to be able to take down this gyro. A worker standing still was going to repair the watchtower, but there's no more need for it. The catapult over here just shoots down one of the wolves there. But this is a nice pickup so far from Ninja. Is going to see that the 4th base is going to be up and running. And it is interesting to see that this is probably going to be denied most of it. In the meantime, some workers over here are going to be attacked. Are they also going to be taken down? Yes, 2 workers in total are going to be taken down. Maybe 3 if he's a little bit lucky, but in the meantime, the workers at the 4th are all going to be taken down. And J Awesome is busy, does not cancel the watchtower here. Is he going to cancel the 2nd watchtower? Why do you give him a chance to cancel the watchtower? Just deny him the gold. The 1-1 upgrade, however, is being done, so if these snakes actually target the gyro crafts instead of the base, then these gyros are going to die relatively quickly. It's very nice to see more and more production facilities are going to be added. In the meantime, an entire streak of reinforcements are going to be added as well. This is a tough position for J Awesome to be in. Some nice catapult shots do make it a little bit easier for a boy in the blue. He's just going to walk into more and more barrages of the catapults. It's not very nice. Loses a lot of army in the process. But so far, it looks like it's still in the advantage of Ninja here. There are quite some catapults from J Awesome though, so it might be hard to engage. But with the fortress being finished, after Ninja is going to accrue some cash, I assume that he's going to get himself some dragon lairs, which should make all of these catapults not really that dangerous. A pretty nice haul though from J Awesome here. If we look at the total amount of gold lost, it is pretty equal, so it is not that bad. The 4th base actually did manage to get taken down completely, which is very nice for Ninja, as he is double the income of our boy in the blue, and he is almost, well, he just surpassed 2k gold ahead when it comes to the gold mine. But over here, the gyro crafts are going to try and take down the 4th base with the double watchtower. They have no chance of doing so, as there are only 6 gyros, and them as well being pretty heavily damaged. Ninja, in the meantime, going to take out some of these neutral buildings to get himself a more clear pathway all around, getting himself some workshops. So even though we got a fortress and is only going to make 1 dragon lair, he's also getting himself some workshops to get some mech switches going in. And this is going to be a very nice pickoff for Ninja here. He's going to be able to take down at least 1 gyro. No, it's just 5 health. Come on, man. Oh, that's actually pretty bad. Good for J Awesome, but bad for Ninja, but no, he immediately runs back with the gyro in front. Is he going to be actually able to take down this singular gyro? So far, it is a no. However, we did see an advanced workshop being constructed for Ninja, so I assume he's going to get some ballistas as well. 2-2 has finished, 3-3 is on the way for our beast player here. 2 infantry attack upgrades are being finished as well, but once again, not entirely sure if that is the best way to go about things. Some massive catapult volleys are going to take down a chunk of this beast army, but this army is just running onto the catapults now, and the catapults are going to be completely denied here, because they have absolutely nothing to say when it comes to close range. The gyro crafts are also going to be taken down. A lot more production is on the way for a boy in the red. And it looks like this is going to be it for J Awesome. It doesn't look like there is a lot that the boy in the blue can do. Some lucky catapult shots might be able to take down some of the beast army, but it's not going to be enough, as another streak of reinforcements is going to happen. Some wolves are going to run to the 4th, and in the meantime more and more reinforcements are going to be produced at the back end of the map here. More catapults are going to be taken down. More workers are going to be taken down. A total of 20 have been going down. The income for Ninja is thrice the amount, or well, even more at this point. Almost 4 to 5 times the amount of J Awesome here. He's 3,500 gold ahead when it comes to the total mined gold. He is 1,000 gold ahead when it comes to the efficiency. J Awesome is just continuously going to be contained here. The 4th base once again seems like it's going to be taken down. An additional forge is not going to help you at this stage. The hold position from the workers feels like it might be good, but might as well go ahead and try and attack the entire army here. And he is going to do it now. There's no worker drilling going to happen at this stage, which does leave some DPS on the table for a player in the blue. But is it going to be enough? All of these workers here are once again going down. The 4th base is going to go down. Some nice catapult shots do take down all of the beast units there. But another worker is taken down, trying to get himself the 4th going. The dragon is on the way, which took a while to produce, but it is going to be here finally. 3-3 is finished. The 4th attack upgrade is on the way. A catapult drop as well is joining. And J Awesome, now saying he was making the wrong upgrades the whole time, does now see that he did not make the right ones. I assume he was willing to go for the mech attack upgrades, but went for the wrong one. And it looks like it is going to be J Awesome's death, partially because of the upgrades. Because again, it did not really make sense to go for the infantry upgrades if all you were doing was going for mech. Could have maybe won him the game, or at least get him into a better position, but it is no use. J Awesome, with at least one major mistake in getting the wrong upgrades, calls out GG, and Ninja gets the 1-0 lead in the first series of the day. So with Ninja taking a 1-0 lead, it is not looking good for Team Holy here. Of course, mistakes can always happen. We're human after all, but when it comes to tournaments like this, you cannot afford too many of those. So let's see if J Awesome can compose himself and get himself back into game number 2, or if he is going to be hot and bothered by the mistakes that he made, and if Ninja can run away with the 2-0 clean sweep. Let's find out in game number 2. And game number 2 is going to be played on a map we have actually not seen in a long time. I'm not entirely sure if we even saw it entirely in week 2. But it is going to be Acadia. J Awesome says, maybe I'll build the right upgrades this time. Well, J Awesome, I get we'll see. Now, in the top left hand side this time, with the red coloring, maybe it'll make a difference for him. It is J Awesome. And then the bottom right hand side, this time with the blue clothing, it is Ninja. Now, J Awesome, I hope for you that you are going to make the right upgrades. If you, of course, are going for a Rex opening as well. Because, again, Acadia is also... Yeah, he is going for Rex again. Ninja once again going for Beast. It is going to be the same army compositions in the early game. I'm curious to see, though, if J Awesome is once again going for the Arch opening, and with the waypoint of the Rex being behind the Rex instead of in the main base of our opponent. It seems like he's going for an Archer opening once more. Ninja, however, oh, this is going to be interesting. Ninja is going for some aggression. He is getting 2 dens up and running. He does not want to give J Awesome any kind of breathing room, which is very nice and interesting to see. Once again, there is not like an entirely open area for most of these expansions to attack. Of course, the natural is slightly open, but it just has a wide section to attack. The third base over here is very limited, but once you get to base number 4, or if this is the third base that you're going to take, which I'm not entirely sure if that would be the best third base to take, but still, if you would take this base, let's say as a 4th, you have 1, 2, and a possible 3 ways of going into this base, and 90% or like 75% or 50% of the entire base is open for harassment. Those were some huge percentage drops, I know, but of course the entire opposite side is defended by being against a wall and the edge of the map, you know, so for the open space that there is, it is pretty much all of it being open. Jay Awesome, though, as I expected him to go for archers, did decide to start with some raiders, which might actually be able to help him quite a lot versus the 2 den opening that Ninja decided to go for here. Ninja does have a wolf in the main base of our boy in the red, sees that absolutely nothing in particular is going on right now. But this first raider, is it going to be caught off guard here? Because there is no natural yet. There are only wolves. As Jay Awesome himself is going for a natural base. And is he going to be surrounded? Is he going to pay attention? Yes, he does manage to flash out, goes for a double flash, but these wolves now are going full charge to the opposite side of the field, I assume. Ninja, however, is supply blocked, so it is not very nice for him to look at. He might be saving money now to... yeah, it looks like it. To go for a natural expansion himself, as Ninja over here does see Jay Awesome having his one over halfway done. Jay Awesome is, well, getting himself a watchtower. Is it going to be finished in time, though? I highly doubt it. If these wolves can just go ahead and manage to get a surround here. This raider has just been run across completely. This one is trying to be surrounded as well. So far, so good. And this might deal quite some damage here. Some of these workers are definitely going to be taken down. Is it going to be enough, though, to deal some lasting damage? 2 workers are going down right now. This raider looks like it's going to go down as well. This watchtower, though, is going to be completed, and I feel like these wolves are going to be pushed back all the way. There is probably going to be some more economic damage, but with the watchtower here, he definitely wants to just get the hell out of there. Another wolf going down, so 7 wolves going down versus the 5 workers in a raider for our opponent. I want to say it is in the advantageous position for Ninja here, especially if you look at the total units. The 5 workers that have been going down are the 5 workers difference between these 2 players. They have continuously been constructing workers here, so when it comes to the income, it is definitely going to be in favor for Ninja, and especially in the early game, that is a very hefty chunk that you do not want to be behind already. This raider has been taking some damage, but still has 2 flashes remaining. Is he going to be able to actually do a lot with it? Might be able to take down one of the wolves here. Does go ahead and flash away, goes and fly. No, doesn't flash over the wall. That was some terrible movement from the raider in the red. Just a little bit unlucky, getting pulled back before he wanted to go ahead and flash. And with the loss of the raider, all that a boy in the red has are going to be 3 archers. There were just 7 wolves from Ninja, though, which is not a large amount, especially with the watchtower here, and of course some workers now as well in addition. To help and defend once again, so there's no way that these wolves can take down the entirety of Jay Awesome just yet. But once again, it's not the best position to be in. Ninja knows that he is very far ahead. He knows that the raiders are dead. He is containing every single bit of Jay Awesome here, so he is free to just expand and get himself a 3rd base, continuing his economic lead here. Jay Awesome is getting himself a workshop, probably going for some catapults here once more, or if he's going to go for a mill, that would be a very interesting move again, because I don't think that he has the economy in order to actually produce from that mill constantly. He is going for it, though, which is a very brave move. Especially with him being behind this much. As far as I can recall, gyrocrafts are not cheap. So it's going to be interesting to see how many he can make and if he can actually deal some proper damage with it. As Ninja sees the bird from J Awesome here. Notices that there is absolutely nothing at the third just yet. Probably wants to just keep a wolf there just in case. Of course, he is containing the entirety of J Awesome at the natural here, but it still doesn't seem like the best way to deal with things. This wolf taking very much unnecessary damage. And he does go ahead and move back now. I would have preferred to see one wolf over here while he ran up north and one wolf over here while he ran back. Because now he doesn't know anything that J Awesome is doing with his units and his workers now. As a bird does get added, which is nice for him, but I would like to see Ninja with a little bit of a better wolf control here. Having that said, he is sending a wolf over to the third location. He is also putting out a bird. This bird sees that the production of Ninja is going to be ramping up here. Nice to see that there are soldiers going to be added from J Awesome. Very, very nice, but I don't think that the amount of soldiers is going to be enough just yet. J Awesome is escorting a worker out to get the third base, is moving the wolf here, knows exactly what is going to happen. J Awesome indeed went for catapults and is getting himself some gyros. But is that going to be enough? This bird looks like it's going to be taken down before it sees the gyros, or is the gyro going to be flying in range of the bird? No, it moves right past it, which is very nice to see, but all of these archers now are in a very tough position. Ninja just wants to move around it. Don't attack it too much, just go around it and surround. You could have probably taken down all of those archers, or at least a chunk more of them. But so far it has not really happened just yet. This worker is also just staying alive because it's not an attack priority so far. Once again, the units now are getting surrounded, just almost close enough to be happy. But the first gyro does manage to get into the natural bases. Snake Charmer has been finished, so if Ninja would produce some snakes, that would be great. Once again, all of the wolves here are just going to go and die because of the hold position of the workers, and the archers and the watchtower over here are going to do some additional free damage. The catapult over here also getting some nice shots taken off of it. Will deny the third from J Awesome, which leaves him with, once again, a pretty substantial lead in the economy. Watchtower does get denied so far, but is going to be finished eventually after all of the workers here are going to be taken down. Once again, this is not a great move from the infantry of a boys in the red. The airship does join the field, is going to just drop an airship full of wolves into the main base, I assume, going to take down the catapult with relative ease, and is going to just run straight into the main with all of the units. And it looks like with the multi-prong attack over here, it is definitely going to be a great position for our boy in the blue. Of course, he already had the income advantage, but now with the drop will cement himself in this as well. The repair is going to be denied with the wolves rushing into the catapults here, and J Awesome is going to GG out. And Ninja over here is going to claim the 2-0 clean sweep for the Fellowship. So a very well done, Ninja. Getting the 2-0 victory, ending the week for the Fellowship in a very nice fashion. The only series that the team lost was Bishurm versus Glaba, which was very well executed from Glaba. And very nice to see Team Pro League get some points on the board. But if we look at the scoreboard, it's actually looking pretty good for Team the Fellowship. Once again, doing pretty well on the scoreboard. Not getting all clean sweeps though, Holy managing to take one game away from Josh's, and of course the series loss between Bishurm and Glaba. It wasn't a clean sweep, they still managed to take 1 point, but they're just further cementing their first place. And Team Holy here is going to hope that the Pro League is not going to get themselves a clean sweep, because that would mean that Team Holy will now be 4th place. So in order to find out who will eventually be 4th place and if Team Emmerderk is going to not fall away too far from the Fellowship, let's get into the second series of today. And the first game of this series is going to be played on Little Ohana, which is also a map we have not seen too much in the second week. So interesting to see what these two players are going to be playing and putting up as a fight against each other. So, with that said, spawning in the 12 o'clock position immediately at the top of the map with the red pieces, it is going to be Bly for egg, and with the blue pieces at the 6 o'clock position at the bottom. Once again, also enjoying the Santa hats here on the workers. It is JP11. Now, what are the openings going to be? It is going to be Den versus Den. Also, an interesting thing to see, JP11, if you look at the size of the box on the bottom left-hand side of the minimap, JP11 looks like he is working on a 27-inch screen, or at least a 16 by 9 here. Bly, however, is on a little bit of a wider screen here. So, it obviously has the same effect of zooming in and zooming out. Bly for egg will see everything what looks like at the same size as these buildings, but will have more vision to the sides as well. Might give him some advantage. Not entirely sure if that also just stretches out the buildings or actually sees more of the map. It looks like it sees more of the map because the way that the box works, so it might just be an advantage for Bly here to just see more of everything at a given point, where JP11 is just working with the screen that we have here. Sometimes you also see people, when it comes to other RTSs, not as much with Littlewargame, or at least not as much just yet. You see some people playing zoomed in more, you see some people playing zoomed out more. There is a difference in preference there, where it's a very interesting move from JB to send his first wolf there, but maybe he knows something about Bly that we don't. But of course, if you zoom in more, you might have some more control or fine control when it comes to like placing buildings, attacking certain units and stuff like that. And if you zoom out more, obviously you can see more, but it does make clicking specific things a little bit more difficult. So you lose some accuracy, or you need to train yourself into being more accurate than you would maybe like, than being a little bit more zoomed in. Having that said though, Bly did see that there are two dens here, is going to construct a watchtower with his natural here. Very nice timing on the transfer, almost perfect. Does he manage to pull back the worker here? It doesn't look like it, as he is a little bit busy. But it is a 2 den versus a 1 den. Bly just now starting up his second wolf den. So there is going to be a little bit of a containment of Bly with the units of JP there. A little bit of a map control to our player in the blue, as Bly, however, does move another wolf into the main base again. Not entirely sure why JP walks all around the map. Of course, if you do have some wolves to spare, you can just walk around everywhere and try and keep an eye on anything that might happen in the game. But at some point, you know that there are no shenanigans going on, so it might just be a better way to just keep doing what you do. It's also an interesting position here to disperse all of his wolves. This one I can totally understand, to try and keep an eye on the third base. Maybe this one as well for a fourth, but not entirely sure why there is a wolf already here. Maybe try and figure out if maybe some airship shenanigans are going to go on relatively soon, but I don't think he needs to be worried about that too much, as some wolves are just going to run into his base. The natural base of JP also being quite late will move him in a relatively significant income disadvantage. Of course, some of the workers were walking around trying to gather themselves at the natural base, so that kind of ruins the total here, but you can already see that he's 140 gold behind, which is not nice to see. This is also still an interesting situation where the wolves of Bly are just staying in the natural base of JP, and JP's wolves are the ones that are going to be contained outside of his base. He could just engage this because he has 4 wolves that can go and attack all of them over here. It will be nicely surrounded now though. Maybe go in with an attack command, but yeah, the wolves now are going to be surrounded on JP's side of the things again, and there are no watchtowers here, so it looks like everything is going down for our player in the blue. Some wolves are going to be taking some heavy damage, but he's still easily going to be overrun with 10 wolves versus 5. It looks like it is going to be heavily swung into the favor of Bly here. More wolves are going to be engaged. 5 wolves versus 3, once again not the best way to deal about things. The workers over here being held in position are going to deny all of these wolves an exit. So these are all going to die. In the meantime though, the house is still going to be constructed, or going to be attempted to be taken down, while Bly himself is going to try and get a 3rd base, just extending his lead here. This house continuously going to be attacked, will finally be pushed back by the wolves going to take it down. The entire base once again being scouted by a wolf of Bly. Does see that there is a snake charmer for a player in the blue, but does he really care about it? It doesn't look like it. Bly himself getting a fortress now is probably going to, with the income advantage that he will have, and or at least will have relatively shortly, will probably go ahead and try to transition. It's always the word that I keep messing up. Transition into werewolf. Okay. Well, that is an interesting thing to see. Might get himself a werewolf den and a dragon lair to get both strong units on ground and in the sky. It is going to be an expensive way to do things, and he's going for 2 werewolf dens. It's an interesting decision. Not entirely sure if it is the best decision, I have to say, as there is a bird coming out for JP11 here, trying to scout whatever our boy in the red is doing. But the double werewolf den and a fortress, you might have some additional economy, but I'm not entirely sure if that is going to be sustainable, because if I'm correct, werewolves are not entirely cheap. And of course, you also need to make a dragon lair, but this bird might actually be some kind of saving grace here for Bly if it doesn't go in much further. Because he will now focus more on the advanced workshop maybe to get himself some ballistas, whereas he's probably not going to be ready for the 2 werewolf dens going to be finished in construction. Having that said, JP is not going to be able to do too much. Bly does scout that there is a base here and another wolf den, sees that there is some slight production, does not manage to take down this snake. Will get himself into a peculiar situation. Somehow, the wolves of JP do not scout this werewolf den being there. He has scouted that 1 werewolf den is there, and that there is a dragon lair coming up, and that an animal testing lab is been constructed. So he will know that he's going to be a little bit behind. He is getting himself 2 advanced workshops. He is getting himself 2 normal workshops. that is going to be interesting, because there's just one dragon lair, and I'm not entirely sure if you need 2 advanced workshops to deal with 1 dragon lair of production. I think with the workshops being added, because he knows werewolves are coming, I assume that he's going to reduce some Gatling guns, which is a very nice move from JP if he goes ahead and do that, but again, I'm not entirely sure if he's able to do it properly. The economy though, he has managed to not fall behind too much, and with the catch of the units of Bly here, it is very nice for him. In order to do this, 2 wolves are going to be taken down, the rest is going to run back home. Does see that there is no 4th being constructed. He is with an interesting attempt on making a 4th over here, probably trying to keep it hidden a little bit. It's not going to work though, as JP had a wolf waiting there already. 2 werewolves are right outside of vision range here, and will now finally be scouted. JP is just going to be able to run into the base though, not entirely sure if he wants to do that, as the first dragon has been entered in the fray. The wolf going to be smashed straight into the watchtower range is not going to be of great help of him just yet. His army will just fall back as we speak. Another wolf does once again find its way into the base of JP. Sees absolutely everything that is going on. And I don't think that there is anything that he needs to worry about. Even though I'm not entirely sure if this is the best move for Bly to do as well. He knows that the army just fell back from there, is going to try and take a greedy 4th at that location, not making sure that the bases or that the army has fully retreated just yet. However, the werewolves and the dragon will find their way to the opposite side of the field. The 2 dragons are going to find the airship, which does not drop the ballista, which is very interesting to see. Gatling guns do enter the fray, so these werewolves now are not going to deal the greatest amount of damage. Dragons over here, definitely a great addition, are going to be taken down relatively quickly by the ballista though. And this watchtower being repaired is just soaking up all the damage from the werewolf here. Not the best engagement for our player in the blue here, with a ton of units still on the other side of the map. Not entirely sure what JP is doing there. He could just go for a counter-offensive or send the units back home in order to actually be able to deal with all of this. The dragons, however, do enter the fray. These Gatling guns do not run around to actually get use of their movement speed versus the werewolves. So the werewolves actually stay alive, the dragons enter the fray as well, and this with all of the units still being here for some odd reason might actually be the end for JP here soon, because another werewolf enters the fray, another werewolf is coming along, another dragon is going to be produced and is going to fly across the map. And not with the best control here from JP, with still the entire army pretty much being at the non-existing 4th base of Bly here, is just going to be denied here. 3rd base not working. 4th base is going to be constructed, but it is not going to have workers on it anytime soon, as there are 4 werewolves ready to take down everything. The ballista over here is going to be taken down, the airship over there is going to be taken down. The ballista will be outflown by the dragons. The dragons will just enter the fray here in the main base, and slowly and steadily JP will get crushed with this army still over here. And he does eventually GG out. And gives a 1-0 lead to Bly. It's not looking good for Team Pro League here. It's not the best kind of control for JP. Obviously, when it comes to playing in competitions and stuff, there might be a certain addition of stress. And of course, I'm not entirely sure about the skill levels of these 2 players, of course, in general. But Bly definitely took the better engagements here. So, Bly, will you be able to take the 2-0 victory and get Team Mderg a little bit closer to the Fellowship? Or is JP11 going to pull out something out of his hat and get Team Pro League on the board and still just inch them closer to Team Holy? I guess we'll see. And game number 2 is going to be played on Silent Fjord. Silent Fjord being one of the maps we've seen more regularly. Plenty of good games have come from it. So let's see if... Okay. Well, we've got a slammer copy here. Literally the first thing being built is a fortress. That is fast. Bly? Holy God. Right. So the bottom left hand side with the red pieces, as you can already tell, it is Bly. And on the bottom right, or top right hand side with the blue pieces, it is JP11. Now, JP is just going to go off, start with a wolf den, assuming that it's probably 10 versus 10. Nothing too special, nothing to worry about. However, there is something to worry about. There is a lot to worry about. Because we saw in the previous game, JP did not really make watchtowers. Did make snakes, if I'm correct, but that was also a little bit later, of course. He is going for a 2 den, which might not entirely save him, but might give him an opportunity to take down Bly before he can do anything. But once again, what do we have here? It is a dragon lair. JP. What are you going to do against it, my dude? Oh boy. We've seen a dragon proxy happen once before. Slammer did it. The dragons themselves did not necessarily win the game, but in the long term, it was enough to take the victory. And yeah, Bly over here with a watchtower. Nothing really that JP can do here, because this defense will be strong enough to take down plenty of wolves. Might deny some of the income if the workers do get pulled, but I assume with the watchtower finishing as soon as the first wolf enters here, with the vision of JP just seeing a fortress and a watchtower. For some reason, as he sees the fortress and the watchtower, is starting production of 2 additional wolves. Why are you not moving all of these wolves around all over the place? Just keep on running them around as quickly as possible. Try and find the dragon lairs somewhere. Keep them moving, dude. Maybe the additional of the 2 wolves is nice in order to take down the lair fast enough, but why are you... Dude, my man. Oh boy, this is not good. This is not good. First dragon is about to pop out. He did not start a watchtower for some reason. He is starting an advanced workshop, which is nice, but I have a feeling that before this advanced workshop is going to be finished, that the first dragon is going to wreak havoc. He will see the dragon flying by on the minimap. His screen did not jump over to this location though. Oh, this is going to be tough to watch. Because the watchtower at the second base is going to be attacked, but absolutely nothing that he can do against this dragon over here. Advanced Workshop still has 23 seconds to go. Watchtower is only now going to be started, which is still 40 seconds away. There is no snake charmers, so nothing that attacks the sky. There is nothing that our man can do when it comes to the dragon lair. Second dragon is rolling in. It has still not been scouted yet. This dragon, if I can select it, still somehow has 0 kills. But is going to be able to take down the worker that was constructing the watchtower. In the meantime, the second dragon joins the fray. And he is just slowly going to be able to take down the workers here. Watchtower might get finished in approximately 10 seconds. The ballista is going to be finished in 22 seconds. But with the worker over here once again going to be taken down, he needs to move one new one to the watchtower again. Not one with low health preferably. And slowly but steadily, the workers over here are going to be taken down. Watchtower at the natural base is going to be constructed, which is a little bit nicer. It does eventually find the dragon lair, but the third dragon has popped out and is probably going to be able to take care of at least some of these wolves. 7 workers in total have been going down. Absolutely no income for a boy in the blue who has mined a total amount of gold more, of course, than our boy in the red, but has lost 400 gold more. In the meantime, continuous dragon production just keeps on going. The wolves have been put away from this lair, so there is nothing that the boy can do. The house is going to be attacked as ballista is slower than the dragon, so it's not going to be in a great position. Of course, one ballista is not going to be enough overall. So he definitely needs a second one. But with the additional of the fourth dragon, this ballista is probably going to be taken down relatively quickly. This might be a little bit difficult to deal with, these 6 wolves over here. But once again, workers deal a lot of damage, and with the additional firepower of the watchtower, there's probably nothing that these the wolves can really do, apart from some nibble damage. These dragons, in my opinion, can just continuously go and fly into JP's base here. They do cost quite some supply, so it would be nice to see him construct an additional house here, because he does have the income in order to make, or he does have the money in order to make more dragons. But it looks like he's just flying them back in order to catch these dragons, or catch the wolves with the dragons, and take him down as quickly as possible. The movement speed of dragons is slightly faster than the ones of the wolves as well, so they are going to be taken down slowly and steadily. And JP is trying to recoup himself here. He's getting himself a natural base, even though Bly as well is attempting to get a natural base going. It's definitely in the favor of Bly here. However, yeah, I don't know. There's just, finally, you know, JP has some watchtowers. He has 1 ballista, which is nice, but I don't think it's going to be enough versus these dragons here. Wolves are not really going to be able to do anything again, or I should say still, or, you know, nothing of any substance, that is. Maybe keep the workers away from mining, but with the more wall off with the house, there's even less that they can do. And with these dragons attacking from the other side of the gold mine, actually not being attacked by the watchtower here, is going to be even bigger of a nuisance, and probably can go ahead and take out this ballista. It does deal 45 damage per shot though, so it is not very nice, but can definitely try to do so. Still more dragons being produced, finally continued the production of it. Once the house and the natural base have been finished. SJP is getting himself the explosive shot from the ballistas, which is very nice to see. But I would also love to see him get more ballistas after the upgrade there. Dragons will still find everything to shoot their fiery balls to. In the meantime, there is an animal testing lab coming up for Bly and an attempt on the third base here. Third base might be a little greedy, but with the dragons flying in, trying to take down everything here. It might be very deserved. The airship is going to tank all of the damage instead of the ballista, where the ballista needs to be picked up, or is it just going to be taken down? Looks like it's going to be picked up. It is not going to be picked up in time. This airship is also going to be taken down because it's slightly slower than the dragons here. And there is no anti-air for our boy in the blue yet. No explosive shot being fired at the dragons either. It's looking like an uphill battle, and for some reason there is still no snake charmer either. There is no more ballistas being produced. Well, there is one ballista being produced, but not as many as you would like to see. There is just not that much going on for JP. He is getting himself a second advanced workshop, but this advanced workshop as well is out of range of the watchtower, so if the dragons are going to target this advanced workshop from the left hand side, it is just going to be taken down. With the third base being completed for Bly, that does give him a quite hefty income boost, and while the gold mined in total is pretty equal, JP has lost 800 gold more than Bly here. This watchtower is going to attempt to try and fight back. This dragon was just outside of reach for the other dragons, so the explosive shot did deal some additional damage, but it was not enough to actually damage more of them. This dragon lair is now finally going to be taken down, and it was interesting to see that Bly actually did not go ahead and create another one at his main base. He is getting himself a switch into a double workshop though, so I assume he might be going for Gatling gun and catapults. Not entirely sure if he saw the switch to the werewolf den here. He didn't see it. He also didn't see the third wolf den there. But with the dragons over here, I assume that it is going to be a mix of Gatling gun catapult. It's also an interesting move from JP to go for the werewolf den. Of course, once again, if he does get plenty of ballistas and takes down all of the dragons here, and with plenty of ballistas he needs to be very careful not to make too many, of course, because once these dragons are dead, those ballistas are all just empty units, or empty supply. It's going to be interesting to see what he's going to make. He is going for the Gatling gun. Is he going for a second Gatling gun here? Yes, he is. So he is reading a JP like a book, because the werewolves are coming. And Gatling guns are good versus werewolves. So it's interesting to see where this is going to end up. Still, Bly is on 3 bases. Has started production on his 4th, while JP is still just on 2. The economy of Bly going to go up and up and up. Dragons are once again going to enter the main base. More workers are going to be taken down here. If the dragons are actually going to focus on the workers, that is. He does spot the werewolf den, so he's going to be very happy that he is getting himself some Gatling guns. So he's already prepared for the werewolf switch here. And it is going to be interesting. Of course, needs to be a little bit careful, because there is a ballista, and relatively soon there's going to be a second ballista with explosive shots, which is going to be a little bit more tricky for Bly's dragons to deal with. But once again, continuous Gatling gun production. 4th base on the way. Did get himself 1 attack upgrade. I would love to see him get another upgrade, of course. Maybe, well, of course, as he's getting more and more workshops, might go ahead and want to get a forge as well, in order to get himself some mechanical unit attack upgrades. JP will go ahead and start to try and get a 3rd base himself, but if we look at the economy, he's already 300 gold a minute behind, pretty much 400 at this point. He mined 1000 gold less, lost 1000 gold more, so he's 2000 gold behind at this point. Once again, the dragons will catch some of these wolves. Not the best move out from JP here, just a little bit unlucky to be scouted by them. But as well with Bly, having some nice SimCity at the back will mean that if the wolves even get past, they will run in a line of one, and making an additional watchtower there will make sure that this watchtower is very heavily fortified by everything else around it. And with 2 watchtowers at that base in general, it is going to be very hard in order to catch it. And now JP will see the onslaught of the Gatling guns, which are going to take down all of these wolves. And this is going to be a deadly push. The 2 ballistas in the airship, for some reason, JP, you're moving them away from the dragons here. It is just a little too late, my man. He is coming straight for your bases here. And with the 4 workshops now, he's adding 4 catapults at a time. He's getting an advanced workshop to get himself airships to probably do some catapult drops himself. To take down JP in even more ways than he was already doing. And here we go, the 3rd base is going to be assaulted. This is going to be painful. The watchtower is anti-gold mine, but it does not attack the units on the left-hand side of the field here. Is it going to be enough to take down base number 3? It should not be too difficult. The werewolf is going to be flown in. The ballistas over here with the explosive shots deal quite some damage, but the airship is going to relatively easy going to be taken down. The werewolf over here is going to be taken down. Those wolves are going to be taken down very easily as well. Which means that these ballistas on the other side of the map, or on the other side of the map, the other side of the fight, are just meat shields here for JP, and the Gatling guns should be able to take those down. Is not going to take them down just yet. And the 3rd base is safe so far, but it is still a pretty nice engagement for Bly here. He did lose a few too many units that I would have liked to see, but still it's not too bad. Some more ballista shots coming in, so these dragons are going to be dying one by one, which is very nice to see. But again, 5th base of Bly is going to be up and running. Werewolf is going to be taken down by Gatling guns. 2 forges are going to be added here by Bly to get himself some mech upgrades, I assume, and I expect it to be both attack upgrades, but it could be 1-1, because why not? If we look at the total amount of army, it is 2 ballistas, which are pretty much a dead weight at this point, because there are just 2 dragons remaining, and there are 8 wolves and a werewolf. Versus 11 catapults and 5 Gatling guns. I would like to see, as he is doing, get some more Gatling guns in, which is very nice. He's also adding 2 more dragon lairs at this point as well, which is also very nice to see, because he is now quite mech heavy. Maybe with the engagement that he will have with a lot of mech units, will not give JP a reason to make too many ballistas. And once again, once these dragon lairs do pop up, the dragon count will soon boom again, and then the ballistas will have to be produced again. If they are obviously going to be taken down, because these 2 ballistas can deal quite some damage here. But this is going to be a massive onslaught, as Bly indeed is going for the 1-1 upgrades here, and is going to just siege this castle. And going to take it down very quickly. A worker does pop out just in time, but is it going to be enough? It doesn't look like it. Bly, in the meantime, has free reign over here. Can probably just take a 6th base relatively shortly as well. These Gatling guns are going to run away, which is not really that good, because catapults cannot shoot on close range. But he has plenty of catapults to just take down everything else of this wolf army as well. He wants to drop the ballistas to take down the dragon here, which is going to work. Very nice to see. Needs to move those ballistas away again. But everything else is going to go down. Bly, not very nice, taking down his own catapult. Is slowly going to continuously siege though. And in the production over here we see again 4 more Gatling guns. 2 dragons in production as well. it is looking not too bright for our boy in the blue. Main base is not mining anymore. The natural still has 2000 gold in it, but if you're going to mine there with 34 workers, that's also not a great position to be in. One watchtower is going to be here for all of the defense, but it can be outranged by the catapults here. Very nice drop from JP to fly the werewolf straight into the catapults, but of course the 3 Gatling guns over here are going to be able to deal with that. There is no additional production for a boy in the blue, only another base, but no armies, so it feels like this is JP's final breath, and with the downfall of the werewolf, it looks like it's going to be the downfall of the game. Nothing that he can really do, as he will probably see the dragons come in again as well, as he will see more Gatling guns coming in as well. He will GG out, and Bly will take the 2-0 victory for Team Mdirk. And with that said, it is very interesting to see that the final series of both groups over here at the final day are both going to be ended with a 2-0 clean sweep, where more of the games this week have been 3-game series in total. Or if it was a 2-0 sweep, it was not expected to be a 2-0 sweep when it comes to my experience. But you know, upsets and surprises can happen every point in the game and every point in the series as well. But having that said, Bly takes the 2-0 series victory for Team Mdirk, which allows them to climb back up into the range of the Fellowship again. Of course, the Fellowship is 5 points clear, which is quite a bit of a lead, but it is nothing that cannot be counteracted, because up next it is going to be the Fellowship versus Team Mdirk in Week 3, which means that Week 3 will actually go ahead and decide between these two teams who is going to take first place. If Team Mdirk can take down the Fellowship on a regular basis, they can just go ahead and snipe first place from them. So with the seeding from this tournament, it's actually ending in a very nice way. It is going to be the Fellowship versus Team Mdirk to fight for first place, and it is going to be Team Holy versus Team Pro League to figure out who will take the third place and who will be the loser of this competition and end up at the bottom of the standings. Is there a better way to go into Week 3 here? 2 entire brackets going to figure out their respective positions? I'm not entirely sure. I, for one, am going to absolutely love Week 3, and I cannot wait what is going to happen in that week, but we're not there yet. We are just at the end of Week 2. And with that said, it is the end of Week 2, so I hope you enjoyed this entire series. I hope you enjoyed the entirety of Week 2. If you did, of course, feel free to hit the like button down below and let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Were there any surprises? Were there any interesting things, especially in these two series here in the finale of Week 2, that you would like to see or want to discuss? Feel free to do so in the comments down below. Or, of course, join littlewargame.com. Chat with us away in the lobby chat as well, or join the Discord and get a discussion started there. And apart from that, of course, also check out the other Little Wargame content creators, because there is more coverage than just me of this Pro League, and there's a lot of valuable information to be obtained. That's it. That's all that I have for you for today. There will be a summary and highlights video in the near future. So I hope you enjoyed today's games, and I hope to see you soon in Week 3. And until then, have a great day, my dudes.